This is Fox Channel News with the latest coming in for our Chicago affiliate. A young African American man was shot by a local police officer for what? It seemed to be that he had a gun in his hand. 1 hour later, more information is pouring in. That was not the case. That is prime example of what today's society looks like. Every day an African American is threatened because the color of his skin, the way he dressed, the way he carried himself. Good afternoon, class. My name is Deja Braxton. I'm here to persuade you on the topic of the rebirth of double conscience. I want my fellow students to recognize the internal conflict experienced by subordinate groups in oppressed societies such as double conscience, to understand the emotional challenge in African American society and come to sense with rebirth of a double conscience. To recognize and to understand double conscience, we must understand what is it, or what do it look like in today's society or past society. The concept was first introduced to us, the African American society, let me explain, by W.E.B. Du Bois, a progressive leader in the African American society, who in the 1900s published the book, The Soul of the Black Folk. In The Soul of the Black Folk, Du Bois explained double conscious to be when a black man understands he's a black man, see himself as a black man, and sees that the white man only ever gonna see him as a black man. Du Bois' study showed that African Americans during that time period, which was during the freedom of slaves, understand double conscience. For example, during that time period, we weren't allowed to enter through the front doors of an establishment. We were only allowed through the back door. In today's society, yeah, we could come through the front doors, but we had to think about being racially profiled during our interactions in the store. That was the cause by many concepts such as Jim Crow laws and the enforcement of racial segregation. This led to decades of oppression of African American society. The decades of oppression of the African American society later led to emotional challenges. The meaning always looking at oneself through the eyes of racist society. Always being criticized as being an African American, or what they say, the black man. Jules Harrell, PhD, provide results on the emotional effect of stress related to African American and their experiences with racism and discrimination. He said this manifests over time in victims of racial violences. African American society needs to come with the sense of rebirth of a double conscience. In today's society, we don't have Jim Crow laws to suppress us. We have other things, such as dealing with those who hold a higher power, such as police officers, judges, and lawyers. Those basically jobs dealing with legislative and judicial system, those are the ones who mainly putting away our African American brothers in jail. According to national polls on discrimination, 50% of racial interactions occur with police officers. 45% of racial interactions happen when a black person is trying to rent or buy homes. This poll is prime example of social placement, where African Americans are meant to stay in our place. The young man's life could have been saved or changed only if he did this or did that. But that's what our society does to come with compassion or suppress what we know to be true. We hide behind what they tell us how to feel. Du Bois taught us that to prevent this, we must educate ourselves about double conscience. In conclusion, I would like my fellow African American students to leave here today understanding the position we are in. We have to have sense of our skin color and what emotionally challenged entitles with it. We must be ourselves. We don't care what others think about us or how we should carry ourselves. We should be true to one another. Believe in where we are living in a rebirth of a double conscious age. Thank you.